What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode. We are here opening up another podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. And of course, I'm joined by my good buddy here, Mythic AZ, man. How are you doing today on this Friday?
Doing pretty good. I was tripping, thought we had the podcast at 12 today. It was just engraved in my head, but I was just out here playing with dogs. But I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. A couple days before game day, Cardinals versus Steelers, which, in the grand scheme of things, it's not too exciting because I don't think a lot of us are really expecting a win, but Cardinal football, right? We'll have to kind of wait and see what happens any given Sunday. So let's dive into it. Obviously, we weren't able to have our podcast yesterday, and that's when the big breaking news ended up dropping with the whole Zach Ertz situation. And I kind of want to allow both of us to kind of dissect exactly what happened with Zach Ertz and how you feel about it, how I feel about it, and we'll kind of go from there. So if you guys do not know, yesterday breaking news dropped in the world of the Cardinals that the Cardinals ended up deciding to release Zach Ertz because Zach Ertz requested it. He requested to get released. We granted it. And then there was another tweet that came out here from Ian Rappaport saying that we ended up getting his game check for this week. So what are your thoughts here on just, I guess, Zach Ertz being released?
I genuinely I saw this coming. I've been kind of saying it. Zach Ertz is like the main guy who's kind of the odd man out. And then Zach Ertz goes to IR, and then obviously the trade doesn't happen. Then I thought we were going to ride out, but this saves us money apparently going forward.
Yeah.
Even saving the game check. So I read something from Kyle Odegaard. I can pull it up real quick. But basically it saves us money in the long term. So it seemed like a stingy thing at first. And I was like, that's weird. But like after reading about it and like seeing like what it actually does, it's a smart move. And then shout out JJ Watt, man, for
Breaking the news. Yeah.
breaking the news. But I think it's a good move, and then I'll go ahead and pull this up real quick. How are you feeling? Do you like it? I think it's smart. We have Trey McBride, obviously. We have a young tight end he wasn't going to get a spot back anyways.
Yeah, I mean, the only quaff I have about it is I wish that we thought about this earlier, and not just rided this whole situation out because we probably could have got a draft pick out of it. And I get it; it probably wouldn't be a great draft pick, and I'm fully aware of that. But these are the kind of things that I want Monty Ossenfort to learn moving forward. Now, granted, this is his first year, and we've already seen the growing pains of what Monty Ossenfort has, been in the first year, right? And that's tampering situation. I don't know if you remember that, but we ended up losing a draft pick because of tampering. Yeah, we got that. And just kind of the way that everything else was handled. Hop was just released. Now Zach Ertz is just released, giving up Isaiah Simmons for just the 7th round pick. I get the 7th round pick just kind of most likely has to do with the market, but I just wish we planned better, plan accordingly. Because we were talking about Zach Ertz in a possible trade, right? Over a month ago. If you're thinking about the Cardinals having an odd man out, this is probably the guy with the, I guess the biggest thumb in the room, right? Or in terms of what I'm trying to say, I guess the elephant in the room that he's one of those guys, that he's wants to most likely play for a competitive team, and the Cardinals aren't that this year. So I want Monty Ossenfort to learn from this first year because there's been a lot of mistakes that I'm I want my GM to do better. Now I'm not going to be too hard on him because this is his first year, but these are the kind of things that makes you a great GM, right? And right now, all I can say good about Ossenfort is that he's got really good draft picks, and we'll have to kind of wait to see how they all pan out. But that's really the only thing I have. Am I sad that Ertz is gone? I mean, a little bit, but not to the point where I'm mad about the move. I don't think it's a dumb move. I think it's a really good move. I think it's a move that should have happened earlier. But other than that, it is what it is. So
I agree. And then here's the tweet right here. Okay. So he said Mike Bidwell's getting roasted for this, but it saves almost $500,000 in cap space I can roll over to 2024. So it was smart. We're going to have a bunch of money next year. So the game check thing, I thought it was crazy at first. And I was like, I didn't want to react because I was like, I want to hear what happens. Because I was like, I don't know what this is about. So I kind of want to hear more or someone break it down. No one was breaking it down. So I was just led to believe one of two things. I was like, either it saves us money or we're stingy.
Yeah.
So I was like, we're going to find out. And thankfully it just saved us money. So it looks smart. But,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think I don't think it's gonna save us money regardless. I mean, right? I don't know how big of a game check Zach Ertz actually gets. Now, obviously, he was one of the top persons getting paid on our roster. And I know last year he had a voidable year, so that's why it kind of piqued the interest for a lot of people when we were talking about the trade deadline coming through. Like, hey, this is a guy that might have a voidable year. You know, he's on a contract. You know, we can possibly get rid of him. He's a veteran tight end that most likely doesn't want to be here because
You
you know,
suck.
yeah, and then just kind of like the way it was handled, I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm not mad at it. I'm just not the biggest fan of. So like, I just wish it was handled differently and better. But this was a move that most likely needed to happen because we talked about this over a month ago, right? Where I kept saying the whole situation of like we're rebuilding, but we're kind of half-assing it. You know what I mean? Like, why not go full throttle and go full in? Because like we had players on this roster like a James Conner, like a Zach Ertz, like a Marquise Hollywood-Brown, that it's like in the fringe of, are they the future, or are we just literally trying to buy time? Like, or like, what are we doing? So this is kind of one of those moves where, okay, I mean, it's cool. It makes sense. And of course it was going to save us money. I think right now we're projected to have about $50+ million, and I'm only assuming we're going to get more from the Zach Ertz. So it's cool. It's a W, right? I'm excited about this offseason and obviously the draft as well.
And with Zach Ertz gone, have you seen? There was like a graphic, I think, on like Phoenix Sports. I'm not sure where it was, but there was like something where I think Bo Brack posted it, where he just crossed out every player from Steve Keim's regime and like the following, like last year versus this year. Have you seen that?
No, but I mean, I don't need to see a grab. Like I know, like all of them are gone. Like it's the turnover is ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? None of them are here. Kyler Murray seems to be the main dude. That's it. I mean, also Marquise Hollywood Brown, as well. Like they're obviously doing it. You know what I mean? They're obviously making the changes. Like, graphic or not, like this, we know what's happening, right? It's the elephant in the room right now. And I think right now where the Arizona Cardinals are, this is exactly why people are talking about nobody's safe. And I don't think that's what people are quite understanding. Like, if you need a graphic to see, okay, then cool, look at the graphic. But in the grand scheme of
Right.
things, like, this is what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do. Like, they have no ties to anybody, and that's including Kyler Murray. Because these 5 games are crucial. And a lot of people can burn me and crucify me as much as they possibly want, but like, it's the truth. It's the truth. It's exactly what the Cardinals are going to do. I mean, they're going to choose who they think is going to be for the future moving forward. So we'll see.
We got 21 players out of the 53-man roster still active. And rolling over
Dang.
into next season, it's probably not going to be like that because there's going to be
Oh
cuts
yeah.
and trades.
Oh
Hollywood's a
yeah.
free agent. Kelvin Beachum is a free agent. Like, we have player, he might retire. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that can roll over into next offseason where that 21 becomes under 14, which is crazy
Well,
for a
think about
1-year
it.
flip.
How do you feel about Rondo Moore?
Yeah, Rondale Moore's there too. Zaven Collins is there too. Like,
Zaven
there's
Collins.
players who like genuinely like aren't safe. Like, where has Zaven Collins been? I haven't heard Zaven Collins' name in like
Um,
5, 6 games.
Yeah, he did good in the first 2, 3 weeks, but other than that, like, and this is the type of stuff that like I want people to understand, right? Like, I'm not coming out here to be negative Nancy all the time, but like both of those players that we just literally named off, I wasn't the biggest fan of Zaven Collins picking
I
them up.
wasn't
I'm
either.
so tired of the whole back-to-back linebacker, back-to-back. I'm just tired of it. We need to get guys that actually are going to play a crucial role on this offense. And the same thing with Rondo Moore. Now people are starting to see it, right? But people are going to forget it. People forget like 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, dang it, why are we getting Rondo Moore? We should have got this guy. And then that guy most likely is doing, at least being a starter, not a superstar, but at least a focal point in their NFL team. So it's very unfortunate, man, that it had to take this. It had to take this to people to finally understand that I'm not just hating. It's just the Cardinals need to be smarter with what they do. And I'm hoping Monty Alston-Ford can be that guy. Like that's all I'm hoping for.
I believe personally. I think Monty's got this,
I hope
especially
so,
without
man.
the draft capital. That's a ton of draft capital. So I believe it feels like he's doing his due diligence and he's locked in. So draft
Right.
season's not here.
Yeah, I know, man. We're just hoping for it at this very moment. So it seems
Yeah.
like looking at like the projection 2024, um it says about 65 mil or
I think we
65.
can get up to 80
That's
with
freaking
cuts.
wild, man. Like if the
I
DJ
know.
Humphreys thing, I'm assuming.
I don't remember, but like after expiring contract, there's like a couple cuts and restructures that can be made that I saw that we can get up to like 80 something million.
That's crazy. And here's the
So
crazy thing, dude. Like, if you look at our roster, like Paris Johnson Jr. is a rookie this year, and he is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th highest paid.
we got rid of all of our contracts for this. This is the year
Yeah.
where we just ate it up. We ate up every dead contract. We ate up everything, like DeAndre Hopkins contract. We ate that up. We were just taking in contracts, cutting players, trading them. Like, we'll take the contract on this year, but like going forward, we want to be a good football team. And we have
Yeah.
so much money. Like, people don't realize. Someone like brought it up, like just how much dead money we had this year. And it's like those players aren't even here. Like, we just have so much dead money and players who aren't playing for us. So next year we have like the chance to actually get talent on the team. Like, this team is so untalented. We all know that. And now we have so much money rolling into next year because of the players who aren't here. It's kind of nuts.
It is, man. It is. And it's one of those things where it's like, here, I'm going to start sharing my screen here real quick just so we can all kind of take a look here. This is absolutely wild. Let me do a quick zoom in. So Buda Baker, obviously the highest paid per cap hit. Oh, actually, no, that's incorrect. I apologize. It's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, Buda Baker, DJ Humphries, Zach Ertz. Yeah, that 12 mil. That's probably what shot, because I remember looking at the projected cap space a couple days ago and it was like 50 mil. And now that Zach Ertz has gone off the books, I'm pretty sure that's why we are around 65. James Conner, Jalen Thompson, Paris Johnson, or I guess Kazir White. I apologize, I misspoke. So he's got 6.3, and then we got Kazir White here at 6. But I mean, like, look at everybody else, man. We're talking about $3-4 million contracts, and even in the 100,000s contract as well. So like, it's crazy, man.
That's what we're playing with.
Yeah, cleaning house right now, man. We are cleaning house. So looking at who we have on the roster, I can see it, dude. I can truly see maybe Zaven Collins not sticking around. Maybe one more year. But like, if we do go wide receiver top, top in the first round, Rondale Moore is the odd man out. Let's call it like it is. Rondale Moore is the odd man out, because right now I think I looked at his stats. This man's got like 200 and something yards on the year, 1 touchdown. Like,
Not impressive.
I ain't gotta cut it, man.
I liked Rondale Moore coming out too, so it's kind of unfortunate. But
A lot of people did.
I've never been a Zaven Collins guy, like
Yeah.
from the start. Just not big on Zaven. It just, like, he's not an edge.
Yeah.
He's not an edge playing that position. All of his sacks have came off just pure coverage, not him winning off the line and getting to the quarterback. He's not a pure edge rusher. And Kaiser White, my bad, is injured.
Yeah.
And he's still not reverting back to inside linebacker, where I'd like to see him more, because I feel like outside linebacker, we're heavily not talented, but heavily just like, I want to say stacked, but that's like not the right word. But we just have a lot of like solid pieces, right? We have Cam Thomas, Victor Dimukeje, Dennis Gardick, BJ Ojolari. We just have people and people and people. And Zaven Collins, it's hard to find a spot for him.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And like, I haven't heard his name genuinely in the past like 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. It's so weird. It's really weird. I want to see Zaven revert back to inside linebacker, see what he has for the rest of the season, because he hasn't done anything. And I don't know. Like,
and give more
just seems
opportunity
like
to the other guys.
Yeah, I feel like Zaven's just an odd man out right now. Like, if you want to get playing time, you got to get it at inside linebacker and make a name for yourself, because he's just not doing anything. Like, genuinely, he's just disappeared. I don't think he's got a sack for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Yeah, it's absolutely rough. We'll see what happens. This roster is already looking night and day different from last year, and I can only imagine what these next 2 or 3 or 4 months is going to be leading up to free agency as well as the draft. Like, this roster is going to be completely different. We'll see what they do with Marquise, man. Right now, I'm not impressed with Marquise Brown. And I know it's not 100% his fault. And I know we're a better team with Marquise than we are without. But if you tell me right now, like, how would you spend that money, either to Marquise or maybe a T. Higgins, who would you go for?
Ooh, that's tough,
isn't it?
What is T. Higgins doing this season? I know isn't T. Higgins.
He's been riddled with injuries, unfortunately. And obviously Burrow has not been the best this year because of what's been happening, and obviously he's out for the season. So it just kind of really depends if you want to take the flyer, right? But is T. Higgins going to get a big contract? No, right? He had a down year because obviously the injuries and Joe Burrow not playing, and he's not going to have a great year. So if he's available, maybe the Cardinals could take a flyer, a 1 year, 2 year situation. Or would you allocate that money for a Marquise Hollywood Brown? Like that's going to be the big storyline, right? I mean, short of are we getting another quarterback, but like Marquise Hollywood Brown. You know
I
what I mean?
would. I think I'd pay Hollywood. I don't think T Higgins brings a lot to the table, but like not only do I not think the Bengals are going to let him go, I think Hollywood is better.
Okay.
Obviously, T Higgins is 6'4", and T Higgins has the potential to be better, but I don't think the Bengals let him go.
What about
There's
Michael
no
Pittman Jr.? He's also a free
that
agent.
is tough. No, that's a combo. That's a combo. But what is Michael Pittman doing this year?
He's actually having a pretty
He's
sneaky
actually
good
having a
year.
pretty solid good
Yeah,
year. Michael Pittman's really good.
yeah. And
Okay,
I don't think
Michael
that
Pittman's a tough one.
yeah, I think the Colts will retain Michael Pittman more likely than T Higgins. And I still do think that the Bengals will probably try to retain T Higgins, but let's not forget that like he requested a trade. And I don't think the relationship has been the best with each other. So like there's been those rumors about maybe possibly, him being moved off of the Bengals. And I'm assuming why he didn't get moved off is because there probably wasn't a good enough package for him to kind of get shipped off to. But like he kind of seems to be the step-headed red child. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the way it's been treated this year, you can call it injury, you can call it whatever you want, but I don't know. Something's off there. Something's off there with T Higgins. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Dang. Michael Pittman. I forgot all about Michael Pittman.
Ding 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 ding. I'm
So his
telling you,
market
man.
value. Let's see Michael Pittman's market. His Mike who
That's the
23 and a
unfortunate part.
half million.
That's the unfortunate part. Michael Pittman Jr. is probably seen to be as a number one wide receiver. That's the unfortunate part because you do not want to allocate a lot of money like that. But like, we don't know what Marquise Hollywood Brown's going to be. You know what I mean? I don't want to give him number one money. I don't want to. I don't know if that's what the Cardinals are going to do. If Kyler's the future, or he wants to keep his boy, that might be one of those things that are going to kind of sway that way. But I do not want to give Marquise Hollywood Brown number one money. I do
Would you
not.
give him 17 to 20?
Marquise?
Yeah.
Shoot, I would rather give him, and I know this is probably below market, but like 13, 14, 16. I would rather give him that than 20. I wouldn't want to sniff 20 because who's the highest paid wide receiver right now?
That's a good question. Highest
Right?
paid wide. I actually don't know.
Me neither.
It fluctuates. Is it Cooper Kupp or Devontae? Devontae got paid.
I think Devontae might be it. I think it might be
Or it could be
Devontae.
Tyreek.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. It might be Tyreek too.
NFL highest paid receivers in 2023. So Tyreek number 1, Devontae number 2, and then Cooper Kupp number 3. Okay, so it's
what is the
30 mil for Tyreek, 28
oh,
for Devontae, and then 26
then okay, I
for
think
Cooper
you might
Kupp.
be right. I think your assessment might be a lot more
Of 17 to
market.
20.
Yeah. I think your assessment might be a lot more. I didn't think it was that high for Tyreek. That's crazy. Oof.
So like 17 to 20. I mean, NFL salary caps are only going up. So
Yeah.
it's either you pay him or you lose him. We lost Christian Kirk. We thought it was crazy, and then everyone started getting paid. And we're like, 20 million is not too bad. But
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of what you got to pay.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. It's just obviously the question that we're all kind of debating back and forth is what's going to happen with Marquise, because although there was a report that came out and said that there seems to be good talks, it hasn't happened yet. So we'll see. But let's dive into actually. Let me get to my the contribution here from Michael Evans. Appreciate the $2 dono. He says won't recognize his team next year. Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I feel like in 2 years, I've been telling it we're gonna rock with Kyler. People are gonna hate it going into next season. That we're gonna have that conversation, right? We're gonna build it out through the draft. We're gonna build it out through free agency a little bit. I don't think we're gonna splurge necessarily. If we do splurge, then that's fine. I trust Monty, but we have money to at least do a couple things. So, I mean, if we want to come in here and bring like a couple linemen in, a couple defensive linemen, corners, like we have money to just like build around. I don't think we're going to go ahead and invest a ton of money. Obviously, we have Hollywood Brown to resign, but I don't think we're going to go spend on like another receiver and then go get like another running back and just spend all of our money there. I think we're going to allocate it in different ways.
I doubt we'll go Saquon Barkley. No, that I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the smart thing is trenches. Like if you can get one or two pieces, maybe one, maybe two, that would be cool. And I'm saying offense and defense. Like that's what I'm putting the 1 and 2 at. So like if we go one defense, one offense, that would be great. But like hey, maybe we get a wide receiver, right? Maybe we don't go Rondell Moore, right? Why would we just get rid of him or keep him at number 4, right? We don't 100% know, but all I know, one thing is that I do not want to pay Rondell Moore a dime. I don't want to pay him anything. Just keep him there and let's see what he can do. But that's just kind of how I feel with the situation.
I agree.
Let's dive into Cardinals versus Steelers. We only kind of touched on it very, very small last podcast, which is on Wednesday, so we didn't really talk about it too much. So I want to go ahead and talk about this. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're gonna have a chance? Do you think TJ Watt's going to destroy us? Do you not? So we're gonna talk about that here right now. But first, I want to go and make sure everybody's fully aware of that. Darren Urban here from the Arizona Cardinals ended up coming out and saying that wow, this is not, I'm not even getting the right screenshots here all of a sudden, but basically we are told that Michael Wilson is out. Antonio Hamilton, cornerback, is out. And then also Starling Thomas is also out as well. Starling Thomas is also out. So we got a couple people that are TBD. And that's Hollywood Brown and then Trey McBride. But Michael Wilson is out again. What are your thoughts on that? Now making it official that he's not playing for third straight week.
It's tough. Michael Wilson's the player that I've been wanting to play because the big body receiver, obviously. We're probably going to see a lot of shotgun, unfortunately, in this game. And it's just a lot of scheme. And obviously, we don't want that.
Yeah.
Don't want a lot of shotgun, but if it happens, I mean, just expect it, brace it. We have a bunch of 5'9", 5'9", 5'7" receivers. It's tough. Like, are we going to throw Zach Pascal in there? I really hope not.
Yeah.
Zach Pascal's done nothing, but Michael Wilson is the one that just continually gets me. I keep having this optimism, and then Starling Thomas is fine. Obviously, I want him to play and develop a little bit, but it's tough. We're missing 2 corners, though, in a room that's already very lacking. So we might see Marco as well. So
bring back Marco Wilson, shall we? That's hilarious.
After getting benched.
Right. It's tough, man. It's tough. It sucks because we just talked about this like on Monday or Wednesday. The fact that like big bodied wide receiver is a big deal. And not having Michael Wilson there. And it's crazy that we're depending so much on a rookie, but like is what we got. Zach Pascal has not done anything because Kazir White's the best acquisition for the Cardinals in free agency, and Zach Pascal hasn't done a lick for the Cardinals. So yeah, very, very unfortunate. So now that we know that, how do you think this game is going to play out? Do you think it's going to be competitive? Do you think we're going to win? Do you not think we're going to win? Do you think we have a chance? What are your thoughts just overall in Cardinals versus Steelers?
Dang, I want to say yes. I really do.
You're saying win?
I want to say win, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stand pat on the Steelers winning this one in a low scoring, kind of like 24-17, 24-21, 17-21 kind of game. I don't think it's going to be very high scoring. Like Pittsburgh had like an offensive like yardage performance. I don't think they put up a lot of points, but the Steelers defense I feel like they're going to give them a lot of good field position opportunities. So I feel like it's going to be tough. But I think the Cardinals are going to look a lot better than they did last week. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. And if it is, conversations, right? Like, it's just the depression kicks in and the therapy session insinuates ASAP. So we know where we are, though. Yeah. I mean, this team sucks, but, like, you want to see that fight. But I think it's going to be tough. I really do. Obviously, you're facing Pat P too, who we know is going to be talking crazy all game. Maybe things have simmered down. Obviously, we don't have Steve Keim anymore, so maybe things have simmered down. I don't know what the hostility levels are going to be like on that end, but he makes a play, we're going to hear about it. So.
100%. Yeah. But remember there was that whole thing with Kyler and Pat P too? Remember that? Yeah. It was last year.
The sideline exchange when he was on the Vikings.
Yeah, he said like something about like don't like drag my name into the mud. Like if you have something to say to me, say it to me or something like that. Like
I didn't hear that. I just remember the whole Cliff Kingsbury and then Kyler thing.
No. So yeah, Pat P ended up coming out and saying on his podcast that like Kyler Murray only cares about Kyler Murray. And of course, it was a conversation that was either leading up to the Vikings game because they were talking about it, and then the conversation of Kyler Murray kind of came up, and that's kind of where the whole storyline of like Pat P ended up coming out and said Kyler Murray literally cares about Kyler Murray, and that kind of blew up.
Oh,
Yep,
I do remember. And then
yep,
Kyler came out and he was like, "If you're gonna talk to me,
yeah.
come
Don't
text me. Don't tweet about it and be
you have my number?
subliminal.
Yep, yeah. Don't drag my name to your in the mud to make your podcast like elevate
Pop
or
off."
yeah, pop off. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what happened. So I don't know exactly where they're at, personally. But yeah, I do think Pat B is going to chirp. And that's the thing. Like, I don't blame Pat P. I like Patrick Peterson. Like literally a couple days ago, I ended up starting to watch the All or Nothing Amazon series again, just because I miss
The vibes
Cardinals
from that.
being good and yeah, the vibes from it. And man, I just I remember how much I used to like Patrick Peterson, like as a player, as a person, and just his presence, his vibrant smile. It was just good, man. Like it sucks that the disaster had to happen, and Steve Keim was freaking him. Terrible dude. But yeah, it's terrible, man. I liked Patrick Peterson. I truly did.
I do too. I still do.
Oh, I still do.
Obviously, it's not like as high.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real. It's not as much, but when he comes and hopefully retires as a Cardinal, then I feel like everything will be restored. We don't have Steve Keim anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel like a reunion will come at some point, even if it's not on the field. It'll be just to retire in general. I think it's a reinduct, or not a reinduct, but I think it's a player who deserves to be in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So
That's fair. All right, so you're hoping that this game is going to be close, right? You think it's going to be a close game. You're saying maybe about a touchdown, 3 points, something like that, but it's going to be a Cardinal loss at the end of the day. You're saying, right?
yeah, I don't think the Steelers are going to come in here and be heavy favorites.
Okay. So it's going to be a game in Pittsburgh, by the way. I'm not sure if I
Yeah.
mentioned that. So it's going to be in Pittsburgh. So we're going to be dealing with the weather here in December over there, which obviously we're not used to. The Steelers did beat the Bengals 16-10, which it's not that big of a deal. They ended up losing against the Browns 10-13, and they ended up beating the Packers 23-19. So it's not like they come off huge wins, but the Steelers are still a team that when they need a win, they somehow come out with a win. Like they're 7-4 with freaking Kenny Pickett for God's sake. So uh I don't know, man. I want to say the Cardinals are going to win this game too, but like my heart tells me I want to pick the Cardinals, but my head tells me it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I think that the Cardinals are going to try to be competitive, like they are every single game. But I'm not as positive as you are in this game. I think this game is going to be 27-10. Uh,
Whew.
yeah. I think the Cardinals are going to start off hot again, either the first drive, second drive. Hell, I would even give them the third drive. I think it will score some points, but I think it's going to be dead in the water from there. I don't think the cold helps out the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals are used to playing in the cold. And I think there's a level of physicality that the Steelers bring that the Cardinals will not be able to match. And that's what makes me scared about the Steelers. When we were talking about them 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was like, oh, this could be a winnable game, right? Kenny Pickett sucks. Not anymore, man. The way we've seen the Cardinals play these last 2 weeks with the offense not being able to get going, I just know it's no confidence for me, man. It's no confidence. So yeah, it's gonna be another game that I think that we're probably gonna be talking about something very uncomfortable next week, which I don't want to, but I think we're going to.
If we get 27 dropped to us by the Steelers, that's gonna be a tough watch. That's gonna
Yeah.
be a tough watch.
I think that this game is going to be determined from Najee Harris, obviously the running back, and then that other guy they have over there. I forgot what his name is. It's not Waddle, but it's like
It's Warren, Jalen Warren.
Warren. There you go. Oh, yeah, Warren. Yeah, Warren. I think it's going to be a game that's going to be a deciding factor from them, but they're going to have crazy numbers. I don't think Kenny Pickett's or George Pickens is going to do like so very much. He might have about 50 yards, which is pretty respectable, but like I think it's going to be all run game. I think Tomlin's going to know exactly how to dissect us, and the run game is just going to eat us apart. It's what I fear, but that's what I think is going to happen.
I mean, Pittsburgh kind of got a sleeper offense, like in terms of talent. Like Deontay Johnson was hurt all season long. He's coming back. You
Yeah,
have
true.
George Pickens. You have Najee Harris. You have Jalen Warren. I think Kenny Pickett is solid. That's just me personally. I feel like this season has not justified that at all. He's looked horrendous.
Yeah.
So it's hard to justify that. And then the offensive line, not fantastic. So, but they have weapons, right? And the Steelers are the Steelers. They know how to win games. They
Yeah,
somehow get it done despite either controversy, lack of talent. They'll go 8-8 at the bare minimum, and it's
true.
crazy
It is
because
very
Mike
crazy.
Tomlin is just insane. Mike Tomlin just finds a way to rally his team behind him and get people to play better than whatever. And the defense has been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
They've been pretty solid.
And I don't think we really talked about we talked about the loss of Kazir White, but, like, the after effect of how much we actually missed Kazir White is a big, big thing. I know Petzing and Jonathan Gannon came out and said, "Oh, I have confidence in, who's gonna come and step up in the role." I think that's just coach talk, man. Kazir White was a big, big piece that ended up getting hurt and unfortunately going to IR and done for the season. So very, very unfortunate, man. He was a big piece in our defense, and I don't think we have a guy that's going to be able to slot in to help out. So, like you said earlier, I would hope that Zayvon Collins can go back to see what he can do because this might be an opportunity for him to shine. But I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I just it's tough. We saw it in the run game. Like already, we don't have a line to stop the run, and then once it gets that second level, it just seemed like nothing we could do. Like
Yeah,
there was nothing we can do once it got to that second level. And obviously, Kaiser White's not the entire defense, but big, 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 big part.
yeah, agreed. What you think we're gonna see this too? Shout out here to Michael Evans. He says first drive, TD K1 under center, then shotgun the rest of the way. Do you think we're gonna see kind of the same storyline that we've seen the first couple or last couple games?
I hope not, because at that point, it just feels like the Cardinals are like, okay, let's show we can score a touchdown, and
Yeah,
then back to tanking, boys.
yeah,
Let's go ahead and show people we can do something, but
right.
let's just not do it the whole game. Let's not win. Like that's what it feels like.
Do you think that that's actually like a mindset of them? I mean, it does feel very weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, but like, if that's the case, why would you even keep Kyler Murray out there? This man's getting destroyed. You know what I
The
mean? Like,
pocket just collapsed in 2 seconds.
yeah. So like, if that's the case, and honestly, to the person that like is just watching and that's not coaches, that's what it kind of seems like. Truly, like, oh, this is working. Right? We know this offense can work with Kyler Murray, but like, why would you keep him out there? Like to get destroyed and shotgun over and over again? Like, are you really like that's just the biggest mystery right now to me because under center is working. Kyler Murray it's working, right? The first drive seems to be scripted and everything seems to be working, everything's good. But like after that, the whole shotgun thing is a big, big mystery. And I get Kyler most likely is very comfortable in shotgun, but like, why would you keep him out there? That's truly the mindset of, oh, we're tanking the rest of the way, right? Like, it's just I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me, man.
Yeah. Did you see Kyler come out and talk about how like everything has been like I believe he was talking about his footwork. He said he
Yes.
felt like a little goofy or
Yes.
whatever, and he had to
Yes.
like change his footwork and he was breaking everything down. So that's something we
Yep.
didn't even like
Yes.
necessarily like dive into or dissect. Like Kyler Murray is working with a lot of things, like we said, new offense, new scheme, new everything. So everything's different to him,
Yeah.
right? He's still trying to pick up on things. And I don't know. I really hope we do see more under center, right? Because it's a new setup, new system, new offense. So obviously quarterbacks have the toughest tail and footwork is a part of it. Like
Yeah, it is a
being
big
a
part.
quarterback is difficult because like everything from like hip movement to footwork to progressions, like everything is different. Every single thing. So it was weird. I'm glad he was at least open and honest about it
Yeah.
because it's just nice to get insight from what's going on. Because if he doesn't speak out on anything or like no one speaks out on like the adjustments and it's just left wondering, obviously it's not necessarily our job to figure
True.
those things out and understand it, but
True.
it is nice to hear, right? I like when your quarterback comes out and talks about how what's like actually being adjusted and at least just having the media relation that hasn't really been there in years prior.
Right. Um, yes, I agree with you for sure. It's a big difference, man. Under center, shotgun. Just think about it, man. When you're obviously taking the snap, compared to when you're under center or you're doing a bootleg, how much different things you have to do. And I remember very specifically when I did my post game show last week against the Rams, somebody actually mentioned that like that he's just playing very flat footed or just like his footwork doesn't seem to be there. And obviously, big shout out to the guy who said that. And I completely forgot who it was, but like, yeah, it's one of those things that obviously he came out here in this press conference this weekend. I think it's definitely something he's trying to adjust to because he's just not used to it. He's not used to it. Shotgun the majority of his life, man. It's even in high school, college, most of the NFL. And now that we're making this adjustment, yeah, there's definitely some growing pains that we're starting to see.
Because you
So,
don't have that 3-step drop back or progressions coming out of a drop back. You literally are just sitting in shotgun, taking the snap directly, and
yeah,
then just dissecting from there. Maybe a 1-step drop, and you're just stationary, looking to escape, make a play. That's what it's been for Kyler, right? So now you're putting them in an offense where you're under center. Now you got 3-step drop backs, and you got a lot of either just insta drop back to a throw. You got a lot of footwork and just everything coming out of this. It's different. Even running the ball is going to be different. Like coming off a bootleg, play action bootlegs, it's going to be different because it's literally just a direct drop back to a handoff. You're not in shotgun. Like you have literally just a running back right behind you. You're under center taking a snap directly.
yeah, yeah.
So, I
Big
mean,
difference.
everything's different. Everything's different here. It's not just a straight center snap 5 yards back.
Right. Yeah, man. We'll see. We got 5 games left. It's funny because, and I get it. People are always gonna argue with me, saying like, to me, like I don't think the Cardinals are tanking. Still, like I don't think like the coaching staff now whether you want to say Monty Austin didn't put the best roster
Team.
together, obviously because of trying to recruit money. Okay, then that might be the case. You want to call that tanking? That's fine. To me, what I'm saying is like I still do think that JG true like he wants to win because if he didn't, he wanted to Kyler Murray out. Like you know what I mean? Um, I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's really weird. We don't have the roster to do very much. Like this roster is bad. This roster is very bad. And we're now starting to see it. Well, we've been seeing it for a very long time, and I think we're just trying to be hopeful, hoping that the Cardinals can win. But like right now, we got 5 games left, and we're all hoping that the season ends. You know?
It's crazy we're even there. Like genuinely it is. Like to the point where we're just like so ready for the season to end. See what kind of free agents we can bring in, how much money we're going to have, what we can do in the draft, what positions we genuinely need, the contracts off the books. It's like we're all just waiting for it. Like it's like the talk of the town right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. Let's see what happens this weekend. I think it's going to be very pivotal. Very. We'll see. Obviously, we got 4 games after this game, and it is going to be one of those things where, like, I still want to see a full 8-game sample size of what Kyler Murray can do, but nothing's worse than having a beat down and then having a bye week. Nothing is worse than that. Nothing is worse than that because I'll tell you one thing that there's people need to talk, right? People need to talk. And especially if you're covering the Cardinals, and it's not going to be a good look, good feeling heading into the bye week with a beat down under our belt. So hopefully the Cardinals stay competitive. Not looking for a win, but hopefully we stay competitive. Hopefully we're having a game like yours, like you described, compared to a
Yeah.
game that I described.
I hope so because we definitely don't want another 7. If we lose to the Steelers by 17, that's just like it's going to be the most frustrating thing of all time.
Well, let's see what happens, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Let's see what happens. We're not going to really talk about too much right now. Right now, it's just going to be 2 more days. We got a football game coming up. It's one of the early ones too. I think it's the 11 o'clock slot for the
Ah,
Cardinals. So, yeah.
I hate the early games.
Yeah. So the Cardinals have to battle the early game, right? We have to go east. And then on top of that, the weather is not going to be in our favor. And then we have Michael Wilson not playing either. So nothing is coming to our favor right now. So, all right.
Ah,
Yeah.
those
Anything
early
else
games.
you want to add before we close up shop?
Um, I think that's it. I mean, I'm looking at Pittsburgh weather. It says it's going to be raining on Sunday.
Oh,
So I don't
ground
know. It's
game.
going to be.
And James Conner gets 2 carries.
I mean, James Conner. This is a return game for him too. So
Yeah, true.
you know he wants to win.
Yeah, but when does that ever work for us? Like, for us, it always happens for the opposite team. When did we ever have a player that was like, "Oh, this is a return game," and it actually does good? Like, Marquise Hollywood-Brown didn't do nothing against the Baltimore Ravens. James Conner, I don't feel like it's gonna be any different. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'm just being negative right now.
Hopefully, he at least gets 15 carries. I mean, it's raining too, so jeez. I mean, it's raining though. Kenny Two Gloves ain't gonna be throwing the ball. Jalen Warren and Najee Harris running the ball. Just
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. I don't know why. I don't think the Cardinals put any more than 13 points up. I don't think the Cardinals put any more than 13 points up. And obviously, Matt Prater with 2 kicks, maybe a touchdown. We'll see, though, man. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Jeez.
All right,
It's
brother.
tough.
It is tough. All right, we're gonna go ahead and close up shop. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Let me give my quick spiel. If you guys haven't smacked the like button, definitely do that favor for me right now. Smack it up and subscribe if this is your first time here. We go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And also, if you want to take us on the road, you can follow us on Apple Podcasts. Look up Big Red Pod. Download the podcasts on there and listen to us and take us on the road on there. But we're going to close up shop. Appreciate you guys here for tuning in. As always, have a great rest of your day. Now, go Cards.